Okay, so as this is the last week of class, I figure probably ought to explain to you what you're doing for your final. What you see before you now is from the syllabus. It is the exams for the details for the final exam as well as the endpoint. Here's where we are. We're in the wrap-up week right now, which is why you're doing a study guide, hopefully, for the final exam. Starting on Saturday through the following Sunday is Thanksgiving break. Then the last day of class is on Monday, December the 2nd, which means that technically we're done with classes for this class at the end of this week. You do, though, have through that Monday if you are going to be giving any of the answers to the study guide questions. And I'd encourage you to do so because this is to help you with the final exam itself, but also it counts, the three answers count as whatever you need for them to count for. If you need a good discussion grade, if you need a good CTE grade, or if you just want to answer the questions and have them count towards the final itself, so you don't have to do that particular question type on the final, then it's beneficial to you. So you should totally think about doing both the submission of the questions and the submission of answers to three of them. All right, so the final exam details. It will be given, well, it will be given when you get back on the 2nd, well, actually on the 3rd. I realized that Monday's the last day of classes, then we technically have the reading day on that Tuesday. But on that Tuesday, I will open it. So you will have effectively from December the 4th until December the 8th, not the 10th, December the 8th to do the exam. You'll have 3 hours to take it, but once you're in it, you're in it. There is no second chance. You can't get out of it and get back into it. So I do not encourage you to wait till the last minute to do it in case you have trouble. You will have to download the Respondus Lockdown browser. Your finals will be run through Turnitin as well to make sure that you're not using AI and that you are not copying and pasting from anywhere. It will be all essay, as I have said repeatedly. You'll notice this is in the syllabus, which means you've known this from the start of the course. It'll be all essay and it will be cumulative. You have to submit it by midnight on the 8th. That is when it's going to close. The only reason that I will give a makeup is if for some reason, starting around the 4th, you contract something horrific and are out that long. Okay, so what Respondus Lockdown Browser is, and I'm going to take you now to our actual course and show you. The exam is located under Activity Quizzes. Now, at the moment, it is not posted, but it does require Respondus Lockdown Browser. When you click on this, and I realize the dates are offset, I've got to do the dates for those. It is not visible to you right now because it's not accessible to you right now. When you go into it, you'll have to download Respondus Lockdown Browser, which means you're definitely going to need to do that prior to going into the exam itself. You don't want to be doing that while eating up the time that you've allocated for the 3 hours to take the exam itself. So the browser itself, when you click on the thing, I've got lots of instructions in here that you must quote. You can use Frankopan, Harari. You may use notes if you have notes. I don't want you looking at that. But you do have to download the Respondus Lockdown Browser. And where you're going to go for that is right here where it says Lockdown Browser. You're going to click on that. It's going to open a window like this for you, which will take just a minute. And then it says here how to get it. Getting started over here, watch the videos. These are the instructions that you want. And you're going to download the Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor. You're doing this one right here. So you're going to click on that and download it. Now, if you have trouble, here are tutorials. You don't need to do that, but you can do the student overview right there and the Respondus Monitor overview. I encourage you to have an idea for how these things are going to work for you and where you're going to get them. I will send out also a set of student instructions. They are right here, so that you can read those as well, particularly this one here on the lockdown browser and Respondus monitor for the webcam, so you will know what to do. So I will attach those to the email that I will be sending with this video link in it on how to do the exam. Now, once you are in the exam, like I said, you have 3 hours from the time you start. Once that 3 hours is up, it's going to close on you. Well, actually, it's going to give you a warning, and then it's going to close on you. And so you need to be sure that you're keeping up with your time and how much time you have to do it. There will be 7 questions and some extra credit questions. So pay attention. My recommendation is that when you start the exam, read all the way through it first, because some of the extra credit questions are worth as much as the short answer questions, and some of them are worth as much as the long answer questions. Long answer questions are worth 20, short answers are worth 10. Thus, if you find when you're looking at the short answers, because there are a couple of them, well, actually 3 of them, that you get to choose what your topic is. If you don't like any of them, then go do a extra credit question, because that'll still count for that 10 points or 20 points, depending. As long as you do well on it, it will count, and it'll replace it. But otherwise, do what you can first. There is 1 required long answer and 1 required short answer that you must answer, if at all possible. If you can't answer it, then that's going to hurt you, but you do need those. There is 1 other long answer, and again, you'll get to choose the topic for that one. And then there are 3 other short answers that have variable topics as well. So again, I encourage you, when you get to the final exam, read all the way through it. And if you're paying attention and you're looking at the categories that I've set up on the study guide discussion structure thing for this week, then you have some idea already of what you're going to be looking at on the final exam. So that should give you some indication of where you are. You may use your Harari and your Frankopan. You may use any notes, even though when you open up the exam, I want you to show me those notes. Hold them up in front of the camera on your computer so that I can see what they are. You will need to download the Harari and the Frankopan chapters to either a cell phone or a tablet so that you have access to them, because once you're in Respondus lockdown browser, you will not be able to do anything else. You can't open anything else on your computer. You can't access any other web pages on your computer. I do not suggest, in fact, I ardently say, do not do this thing where you quote from Harari and Frankopan. That takes too much time. Paraphrase, but give the citation. Citation is mandatory. You can also, by the way, use your textbook, which also means if you're using an online textbook like Brooks or the Cordas et al. Or any of the online textbooks, you need to have some access to it as well. And again, you can just put Cordas and the date and the chapter or the web page heading for it. So if you're using Harari or Frankopan, you have to use the page number. You must use the page number, and you must use specific examples. You can't just give me a big glossy whatever. That's going to count as a big 0. All right, I think I've covered what I need to cover for this. Like I said, I'm going to open it on Tuesday. You will have until the 8th, which is 5 days, by midnight to finish it. I encourage you to do it early, because I'm going to try to grade them as soon as they come in, so you'll have some idea of where you stand in the class. And I'm going to be getting all the rest of the grades back to you, hopefully over the next week. So going into the final, you'll have some sense of where you stand. If you have any questions, let me know. Email me as soon as you can.